Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's your boy John. Come back at you with a quick video before I have a little nap, before I go to bed. That's a bit weird. A nap before bed? No, it's a nap before I get back up and go to the gym. I just wanted to make a real quick message. Give you a very quick message on the importance and my own personal experience when it comes to meditation. Okay, because I think I've spoken about meditation a few times before, but I've not really talked about it in the last few months, mainly because my practice had gone really down. There was a time where I was meditating every day for like 20 to 30 minutes. And what can I say, man? I was never happier in my life. Like, seriously, when I had a consistent practice going, I'd never felt more calm, cool, and collected and on top of my game, on top of my life. Um, More in control of myself, because when you can control your thoughts, when you direct the thoughts to a meaningful end, you can really accomplish anything, man. I'm being serious. Like, you see that fucking basketball thing behind me? I know LeBron James, but all I'm gonna say is if you were to put your mind in some area that you're interested in already and that you are fairly decent at, I can see you being a master at it through meditation. Now, what's meditation? It's simply an awareness of your thoughts. That's it. And it's the art or the practice of non-reactivity to your thoughts, and therefore non-reactivity to life. This is so important, man. The men that we admire, the fucking the what's his name? The guy from Thomas Shelby. Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders. Now, granted, there's a lot of issues going on there with the gentleman, but we admire men like him because they're very stoic and therefore they're very mindful. They don't react, they don't get emotional, they don't react to what other people say, they don't get insulted very easily. Because it's not even confidence. Forget about confidence. This is a stupid word, and it's like what girls use. It's a myth. Confidence, There's no such thing as confidence. You can be confident, you can be a confident reader, you can be a confident walker, you can be confident in boxing or with girls or something like that, right? Because you have mastered a skill. But what does it mean to be confident in yourself? What does it mean? Well, essentially, deep down, it just means you don't doubt yourself. And where does doubt come from? It comes from your thoughts. It comes from the way you think about yourself. It comes from the way you think about your abilities and skills, and you doubt yourself because you are thinking those thoughts. Or so you think. So, meditation is the art of simply not reacting to those thoughts of self-doubt, those negative thoughts, those thoughts about whatever it may be. And when you reduce your reactivity, a part of your brain is strengthened called the prefrontal cortex. Now, this is the part of your brain, it's almost like known as like the king of the brain. It's all about self-control. It's all about emotional and thought regulation. Now, if your prefrontal cortex is damaged, if it's overreactive or underreactive, then what tends to happen is you exhibit signs of mental illness. Usually, you will have a mental illness of sorts because you cannot regulate your mind. Your mind is literally like unable to be regulated. So the art of meditation is quite funny because it's literally a hack, but it's your brain watching itself. It's really weird. And when you meditate, it is a weird thing, man. It's not anything like, there's nothing like meditation in my opinion. Now, you can get close to things like meditation. You can get into the zone in whatever it is that you may be doing. You can get into the zone with running, or when you're socializing, when you're playing a game or whatever. But really, when I look at it, it's quite funny because meditation is literally you watching your own thought patterns, and you're looking at your own thoughts and images, and you're being very non-biased because you can't have an opinion about it, because if you have an opinion about your thoughts, that's just another thought. So your brain is watching its own activity, and it's quite funny because the more you practice this, the more you're kind of strengthening that part of your brain, which is the wise part, the wisdom part of your brain. And wisdom, what is wisdom? In my humble opinion, and it's a very humble opinion because I ain't no fucking expert, but wisdom is nothing more than clear fucking perception. That's it. That's what wisdom is. There is no like, one must do this, one must do that. No, it's not a law. It's not religion. Wisdom is just clear perception. I mean, even evil people can be wise, if that makes any sense. It's completely separate from morality. Wisdom will say that maybe morality is the way forward, but I've yet to do some investigations into it, but the greatest men of all time, people like Socrates and Aristotle and Plato and all of these ancient Greek philosophers, you've got the Buddha, you've got Jesus, Zarathustra, you've got Muhammad, you've got Jesus. You know, these are great men spirit of the spiritual tradition who talk about morality, and they say that morality is a good thing. You need to be moral. So these wise men have come to that conclusion, but you cannot follow in the footsteps of other wise men and just say, well, okay, because he said it, it must be true. You've got to see it for yourself, which means you've got to become wise. And the only way you can become wise is seeing where you're not wise, seeing where you're going wrong, because we're all going wrong in some area of our lives. We cannot be sitting at home thinking that we know it all. Okay, this isn't even me talking about self-improvement anymore. This is just me talking about living life. If you have one problem in an area of your life, there's usually a reason, and there's usually things that you're doing that are self-defeating, if you will, that you're not even aware of. You don't even know you're doing them, because that's the essence of ignorance. It's you don't know what you're doing is wrong. This is so beautiful when I look at it, because it's like, right, if you don't know what you're doing is wrong, there's no point sitting around in hesitation and doubt and fear. It's more like, all right, let me go fucking in. Let me go all in and see what happens. Let me go all in and just test and see what am I doing is wrong, because the reactions will be very apparent in real time. I love talking about game for this reason, because when you go into social dynamics, the field never lies. Do you know what I mean? The field never lies. The field tells you the fucking truth. And if you can look a bit closely to the field, if you can look a bit closely and be non-biased and remove your ego a little bit, you will see exactly what you're doing is wrong. People are nothing more than a mirror into yourself. Whatever you're seeing in other people, it's literally a reflection of yourself, and it's the most hurtful thing ever, but it's the most truth revealing thing you can ever imagine. So like, a big one is this, right? Why don't girls like me? This is a big thing that I had in my head for many years. And you know, I'm not a bad looking dude. I can speak eloquent English. I've had loads of like friendships with people, but I had this fundamental belief of why don't girls like me? Like I go around and you know, when I first meet a girl, it's all great. We're having fun. It's amazing. Like it's like electricity. We've got this vibe going on. But then after a few days, it dies down and it turns, it changes. It becomes really almost antagonistic, almost like we hate each other. What the hell is this about? And I kind of figured it out. I kind of got to the root cause of it. And it's something that I learned a few years ago from Carl Jung when he was speaking to a patient of his. And he asked the patient, you know, it was a woman or something, and the woman came up to him and said, "Why don't people like me?" So it wasn't like why do women not like me, but mind you, this whole dilemma that I was talking about when it came to women, it applies not just to women but people in general. So the woman, she says, "Why don't people like me?" And Carl Jung just asks such an innocent question, says, "Well, why don't you like people? Why don't you like people?" And she got triggered. She was like, "What the fuck? How dare you say I don't like people? What do you mean? They don't like me. They treat me badly. You know, blah, blah, blah. They abuse me. They're hostile towards me. They don't like me." And she then a year later realized that, oh, I don't like people. I don't like people. I treat people badly. I actually treat them with hostility and rudeness, and that's why people don't like me, because I'm not likable. I'm not being likable, and being likable just means liking other people. It doesn't mean being a people pleaser. You can like people without being a people pleaser. It's very possible. But usually what tends to happen is we go either one way, right? If you used to be a people pleaser, I used to be a people pleaser. If you used to be a people pleaser, then what tends to happen is you go the fucking complete 180 and you now become a people hater. Yeah, you become a people dickhead, basically. When it comes to women, if you were like a nice guy, now you turn into a fucking complete asshole. And yeah, unfortunately, being an asshole does get you girls in the short term. I mean, it's an unfortunate thing. But you know what, gentlemen? I'm gonna be fucking honest with you. It gets you only girls that have really bad low self-esteem, like shit low self-esteem, like crap. They're poor self-images of themselves. And sure, there's some girls out there that are hot and have shit self-esteem. That's just called being a human being. But it doesn't get you a girl that you can actually respect and be with. It literally just gets you a girl who you can poke and prod and make her feel like shit and then bang her. And that's your life, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. That just feels wrong. And that's my inner morality coming out. It just feels so fucking wrong to do that. I don't think I could go through with it. I've gotten close to doing it at some point, and I just felt sick. I felt sick to my stomach. There was no way I was going to go through with it. It did not feel right at all. Um, so anyway, I'm going to leave you on this message. We usually don't like in other people what we don't like in ourselves. So if you're finding that people don't like you, if you're finding that you're coming across as unlikable, and women don't like you or guys don't like you, or whatever it is, it's probably because you don't like them, and they're just reflecting that image right back to you. You see, I know this about me because when I like people, when I genuinely have love for people, and it's usually when I've been practicing meditation consistently, I've been really focused on my goals, and I can genuinely greet people from a place of like humanistic compassion. It's real, it's a feeling, it's very intimate, but at the same time, it's very unattached. I can see the whole world around me, the people around me, they change. They're a mirror into my soul. They treat me like a god. And the only reason they treat me like a god is because I'm treating them, not like a god, but I'm treating them very well. I'm seeing the inner light, so to speak, in them, and I'm reflecting it back to them. Okay, this is again why charismatic people are so popular and so famous and so liked, because they look into people's souls and they see the inner goodness, and therefore that it's reflected back, and it's like a backwards upward spiral of positivity. All right, so ask yourself the question next time you ever want to project onto other people. Why doesn't this person like me? Why is this person like this? It's usually because 90% of the time, there's some cases where it's not, some people are just dickheads, but 90% of the time it's because you are projecting a certain image onto them, which you are. Yeah. So there's a big one that came into my mind a few days ago, which was, I keep attracting psychopaths. Like there's all these psychopaths around me. What the fuck? Like what's going on? Why am I only attracting psychopaths? Why is everyone that I know is a psychopath? And it's like, have you ever thought about the fact that you might be the psychopath? Have you ever thought about the fact that you may be the psychopathic individual? I'm not saying like a full-blown fucking Ted Bundy serial killer psychopath, but like, are you the one that actually has the Machiavellian kind of lack of empathy, hostility, and like abuse factor in your own brain, which you're not really seeing in yourself, and you're kind of projecting it onto other people and seeing it in them? Food for thought. I'll see you in the next one.